tell us those things, but all of those things are going to move out of the way, and we're going to go back to doing things the way that Yahweh has set things up. And this way, um, a lot of times you'll hear, especially during the holy days, a lot of going back and forth between congregation to congregation about which holy day is right and things like that. Um, but the majority of those people were never taught how to count um, the holy days. You would be surprised to find out as much pomp and circumstance comes out from the Jewish congregations. You'll find out that they don't even keep new moon. And if you don't keep a new moon, you have absolutely no power whatsoever in understanding what your calendar is. That means that you just wait around for somebody to tell you what day is a holy day, and then that's the day you show up. But when you get down into this book, when the children of Israel were persecuted, when situations happen, that's how Yahweh spread the word out. They end up having to go and flee from one place to another. And when that word is inside of you, sooner or later, there are conversations that are going to happen and the word is going to come out. And that forced that word into other parts and other places of the world where it would not have ordinarily gone. We're not going to stay too long tonight. We're going to begin tonight in Numbers chapter 4.
Verse 1.
Yeah, we're going to start at verse 1. I want to, first of all, say congratulations to Deacon Benaiah and Sister Yahara on the birth of their baby boy. He arrived today at 5:09 p.m. It says Josiah Esaac Bale is 5 pounds, 5 ounces, and 19 inches. Praise Yahweh and blessings to them all. Right. And all that was just practice because the microphone was not on. So let me do that again for the people. It says, congratulations to Deacon Benaiah and Sister Yahara on the birth of their baby boy. He arrived today at 5:09 p.m. Josiah Esaac Bale is 5 pounds, 5 ounces, and 19 inches. Praise Yahweh and blessings to them all. All right, we're going to begin today in Numbers 4, and we're going to start that at verse 1.
And Yahweh spake unto Moshe and unto Aaron, saying, Take the sum of the sons of Kohath from among the sons of Levi, after their families, by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even until 50 years old, all that enter into the host, to do the work in the tabernacle of the congregation.
Now, do understand that our people were very serious about the work and whether or not you were qualified to do the work. And where we would say, one thing, we're close enough. He said, this brother here, 29, he can do it. 29, they beat him to death at the door. It say 30, you ain't walking in at 29. They're not playing. There's when you get back and read where Nehemiah turned around and put brothers with swords and said, hey, if y'all even bring anything in here to sell on the Sabbath day, we're going to lay hands on you. That's how they kept people from even coming in to cause Israel to sin. There's a process. There were the people who were bringing in things, because what happens is we had a certain level of how we would deal with things. Israel wouldn't necessarily at that time be the ones to go and sell something, but if somebody else sold something, we'll buy it. So the people figured that out. So then those people would turn around and lodge about our wall to have things for sale, and then you have us sneaking over there to go and buy it. You might say, I'm going to take care of this business. Instead of arguing with the people, he dealt with both ends of it. He dealt with our people for them going over there, and then he went at those people and said, you come over here again and I'm going to lay hands on you. That took care of that, people showing up trying to sell us things on the Sabbath day. And it's the same way. There's a reason why those things are written down. It's the same way it's going to happen again. You think you can go out and talk to people as much as you want and say, remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. And they still got their shops open. When they door get kicked down one day and they stuff get thrown around, they going to remember, you know what? Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Right. Oh, you can remember it when your stuff gets strode all in the parking lot. Right. That's going to take care of that business. Go ahead.
Verse 4. This shall be the service of the sons of Kohath in the tabernacle of the congregation about the most holy things. And when the camp setteth forward, Aaron shall come, and his sons, and they shall take down the covering veil, and cover the ark of testimony with it.
And if you think about it, that's what Yahshua did to those money changers. He turned over the tables of money. You turn over people's table of money, they're not going to bring their money back in there no more. Go ahead.
And shall put thereon the covering of badger skins, and shall spread over it a cloth wholly of blue, and shall put in the staves thereof. And upon the table of the showbread they shall spread a cloth of blue, and put thereon the dishes, and the spoons, and the bowls, and covers to cover withal, and the continual bread shall be thereon. And they shall spread upon them a cloth of scarlet, and cover the same with a covering of badger skins, and shall put in staves thereof. And they shall take a cloth of blue, and cover the candlestick of the light, and his lamps, and his tongs, and his snuff dishes, and all the oil vessels thereof, wherewith they minister unto it. And they shall put it and all the vessels thereof within a covering of badger skins, and shall put it upon a bar. And upon the golden altar they shall spread a cloth of blue, and cover it with a covering of badger skins, and shall put to the staves thereof. And they shall take all the instruments of ministry, wherewith they minister in the sanctuary, and put them in a cloth of blue, and cover them with a covering of badger skins, and shall put them on a bar. And they shall take away the ashes from the altar, and spread a purple cloth thereon. And they shall put upon it all the vessels thereof, wherewith they minister about, even the censers, the flesh hooks, and the shovels, and the basins, all the vessels of the altar. And they shall spread upon it a covering of badger skins, and put to the staves of it.
And if you get to reading these things, you'll find out why so many congregations will have blue and purple and these things. They will be quick to tell you that these are royal colors. These are such and such. But when you get right down to instructions, they don't think they have to be royal according to the instructions, just royal according to the look. Go ahead.
And when Aaron and his sons have made an end of covering the sanctuary and all the vessels of the sanctuary, as the camp is to set forward, after that the sons of Kohath shall come to bear it, but they shall not touch any holy thing, lest they die. These things are the burden of the sons of Kohath in the tabernacle of the congregation.
So then you find out that there were levels of the priesthood. There are some priests that can touch this. There's other priests that can touch that. And just because you are a priest does not give you the right to touch anything and do everything that was contained in Yahweh's tabernacle. You had to follow the order in which was given unto your family. Go ahead.
And to the office of Eleazar the son of Aaron the priest pertaineth the oil for the light, and the sweet incense, and the daily meat offering, and the anointing oil, and the oversight of all the tabernacle, and all that therein is, in the sanctuary and in the vessels thereof.
So consider, this was passed down from the fathers to the sons, but there was an age limit in which they could do those things. So do understand that the fathers were speaking to their sons about the job that was going to eventually be handed down to them. Go ahead.
And Yahweh spake unto Moshe and unto Aaron, saying, Cut you not off the tribe of the families of the Kohathites from among the Levites, but thus do unto them, that they may live and not die, when they approach unto the most holy things. Aaron and his sons shall go in, and appoint them every one to his service and to his burden. But they shall not go in to see when the holy things are covered, At least they die.
So consider that there are things that you would say, okay, these people have power to do this, but then you find out there's an instruction 2 lines after that they can't go as far as this. So there are so many instructions that we have to deal with, and these things are important because when the wrath of Yahweh is poured out, sometimes you look at the situation of Uzzah touching the ark and him dying, but you have to consider there are certain situations where Israel will do something wrong, and it might be 1,000 of Israel die. So you can't just look at the situation and say, well, each man need to look at this to protect himself. No, you may be in a situation where we stand by, allow somebody to do something, and then we look up and 1,000 of Israel is gone. All because we let that one thing go and nobody did anything about it. Go ahead.
Verse 21. Numbers chapter 4 and verse 21. And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, Take also the sum of the sons of Gershon throughout the houses of their fathers by their families. From 30 years old and upward until 50 years old shall you number them, all that enter in to perform the service, to do the work in the tabernacle of the congregation.
So this is your area of where these priests can serve from 30 years old upward until 50 years old. After 50, then they're able to retire and just advise and not have to do the physical work. This is where the daughter of Babylon get their whole retirement from. Now that retirement has greatly changed from that, but that's what retirement used to be, and it used to be that it came from the Bible. 20 years, you were able to retire. You realize that there are people of our fathers and mothers' age, man, they had 2 and 3 retirement. Why? Because they were simultaneously working jobs. When I get to 20, they was hustling up 20. They had 20 over here, 20 over there. So then they were planning their retirement. They were getting 2 and 3 retirement checks. We'd be lucky now if we get one. And they had 2, 3 checks coming in. And if you start, early enough, hey, you can work that retirement thing pretty good. But this is a slave state. And sooner or later they figured out, no, the only way for us to truly survive is we got to make these people slaves again. And this is just not slavery amongst people of color. This is slavery among all business people, period, all workers. So eventually it crossed that line into everybody. And that retirement just keep getting pushed further and further back. Now I think for you to get into Social Security, you're supposed to be 65 years old. The average death of a black man is 65 years old. They want to give you your retirement and kill you the next day. So that way you will work and fuel a system. But hopefully you'll never live long enough to get anything out of it. That's the way this system is set up. And they put everything in our neighborhood to make sure the worst eating, the worst alcoholic beverage. There's some stuff that I look at on the shelf and I was like, I got drunk looking at it. I mean, it was absolute. Look at that can. What's in that can? That can look like intoxication. You go on the other side of town, that can not in there. So they got black liquor. So they make this liquor just for the hood? Right. Something wrong with that. Because I need to make sure that you out of here by the time retirement age. I need you to pay into the system, but never take any withdrawals. Yahweh has a righteous system set up. Go ahead.
Numbers chapter 4 and verse 24. This is the service of the families of the Gershonites, to serve and for burdens. And they shall bear the curtains of the tabernacle, and the tabernacle of the congregation, his covering, and the covering of the badger skins that is above upon it, and the hanging for the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the hangings of the court, and the hanging for the door of the gate of the court, which is by the tabernacle and by the altar round about, and their cords, and all the instruments of their service, and all that is made for them, so shall they serve. At the appointment of Aaron and his sons shall be all the service of the sons of the Gershonites, in all their burdens and in all their service, and you shall appoint unto them in charge all their burdens. This is the service of the families of the sons of Gershon in the tabernacle of the congregation, and their charge shall be under the hand of Ithamar the son of Aaron the priest. As for the sons of Merari, you shall number them after their families by the house of their fathers. From 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, shall you number them, every one that enters into the service to do the work of the tabernacle of the congregation. And this is the charge of their burden, according to all their service in the tabernacle of the congregation, the boards of the tabernacle, and the bars thereof, and the pillars thereof, and sockets thereof, and the pillars of the court round about, and their sockets and their pins, and their cords, with all their instruments, and with all their service. And by name you shall reckon the instruments of the charge of their burden. This is the service of the family of the sons of Merari, according to all their service, in the tabernacle of the congregation, under the hand of Ithamar the son of Aaron the priest. And Moshe and Aaron and the chief of the congregation numbered the sons of the Kohathites, after their families and after the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, every one that enters into the service for the work in the tabernacle of the congregation. And those that were numbered of them by their families were 2,750. These were they that were numbered of the family of the Kohathites, all that might do service in the tabernacle of the congregation, which Moshe and Aaron did number according to the commandment of Yahweh by the hand of Moshe.
When you read this, you find out that our people were very particular about how many people were there to do this service, the ages of those people. First of all, to make sure that those people were qualified to do this service. So Israel was very particular about this because the wrath of Yahweh may follow. And he's not gonna hear no accidental, well, I didn't know, I didn't check such and such. Well, you're gonna get dealt with. Consider what happened when Joshua and them went into Jericho, and was one of them that ended up stealing that Babylonish garment. Yahweh like, why you don't know? Get down off your knees. What you sitting there crying all day for? Like 30 of us just died. What? I'm trying to figure out, like, why? And the answer was almost like, why you don't know? Israel has sinned and took up the cursed thing. Now, unless you take it away, I will no more be with you. So when you find these instructions, when you find these numbers where they're counting each one of these members, where you talking about these ages, they were very particular in checking all of these things. Least the wrath of Yahweh come against us because we didn't take care of our business. Go ahead.
You know, it's interesting in verse 37, after it numbered them, it says all that might do the service, not that will do the service. Verse 38. And those that were numbered of the sons of Gershon, throughout their families and by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even on to 50 years old.
You see how Yahweh makes, a way. He could have said 30 to 50 one time and then just told you all the tribes. You see how he makes sure that the instructions are like ingrained in your brain, that he will go over again 30 to 50. And then he'll do that from each tribe and go all the way through those same things so that you get it through your head. So you'll be asleep 30 to 50. What's wrong with this dude? This dude was asleep. I'm on 30 to 50. Yeah. Go ahead.
Everyone that enters into the service for the work in the tabernacle of the congregation, even those that were numbered of them, throughout their families, by the house of their fathers, were 2,630.
Now, you know why this is interesting though? Understand, man, you go to some of these other so-called religious organizations, they got elders. The dude be like 14. Dude, like, I'm an elder. Like, brother, I don't think you went to puberty yet. How are you? You an elder of what? You the elder of your mama's children. Where are you an elder at? That 14-year-old dude standing in front of you telling you he an elder. These instructions bust that up. 14-year-old can't even walk in there and do service. How you an elder? How you an elder? You ain't even supposed to be touching the incense. Right. But see, if you don't know that, you'll let one of them people dressed in black and white show up at your door and start telling you that they're elder and you need to listen to them. Right. Go ahead, bro.
These are they that were numbered of the family of the sons of Gershon, of all that might do the service in the tabernacle of the congregation, whom Moshe and Aaron did number according to the commandment of Yah. And those that were numbered of the families of the sons of Merari, throughout their families, by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even on to 50 years old, everyone that enters into the service for the work in the tabernacle of the congregation, even those that were numbered of them after their families, were 3,200. These be those that were numbered of the families of the sons of Merari, whom Moshe and Aaron numbered according to the word of Yahweh by the hand of Moshe. All those that were numbered of the Levites, whom Moshe and Aaron and the chief of Israel numbered, after their families and after the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even on to 50 years old, everyone that came to do the service of the ministry.
We need to name this from 30 years old to 50 years old. That's the name of this right here, from 30 to 50. Because really, when you get one of them people to stand up, you know, when you run into one of the 14-year-old elders, you're just going to look at him. And 30 to 50, just going to pop right up in your head. I promise you. Go ahead.
And the service of the burden in the tabernacle of the congregation, even those that were numbered of them, were 8,504 score. According to the commandment of Yahweh, they were numbered by the hand of Moshe, everyone according to his service and according to his burden. Thus were they numbered of him, as Yahweh commanded Moshe.
Do you understand how detailed this had to be? He's counting them out. I don't know if y'all ever had to count any numbers manually that high, but you're having to separate these people according to the service that they do. So all of these people, you have to organize this and separate these people. This is work, having to do this, because you know people don't be still. You're like, did I count him? A bit of that. Did I count you? Why don't you stop moving, brother? I can't. I was counting you, and then you moved over there. Now we got to start over. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so we keep getting all these people that he's numbered. So is somebody keeping birthdays?
They're going to have to. Because I tell you what, go in there 29 and see what happened to you. Go in there 29. You think Yahweh playing. Go on in there. You bad. I'm going to stand over here behind that rock. You go ahead. And we're going to see what happened to you. Yahweh not playing. He gave instructions. Check this out. We read about Yahshua at 12 going and talking and doing all these things in the temple amongst doctors and lawyers. He knew things. He didn't start his ministry until he was 30 years old, according to what's written in his book. But he knew things at 12. So why he wasn't working at 12? Right? His father's law. That's why. He wasn't going to break his father's law. So if he walked in there talking about he was an elder at 12, they were going to do something to him. And what did they say? When he was saying certain things about Abraham, I think it was a Pharisee, said, you ain't yet 40 years old. And have you seen such and such? You see, they didn't have no problem throwing his lack of 50 around. Then this Israel. Now you got to know how our people operated. It was like, man, you ain't 40 yet. Ain't nobody listening to you. So it was already a little disrespect right there to them. Understand? These Pharisees, these were elders. These people, they got some rank here. Like, we ain't respecting you. So he sure wasn't gonna come in there at 12 and do anything. And you don't really get that when you listen to the Christian setup, because they give us baby Jesus, they give us teenage Jesus, you know what I'm saying? They give us high school graduation Jesus, and then you got grown Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So you got all the different stages of Jesus, and they all are equally as wonderful. Okay, it don't matter if it's baby Jesus or grown up Jesus. It is the same. They all equally as wonderful. You find out here, according to what's written in this book, he couldn't start his work until he started 30. That lets you know Yahweh not playing about his instructions. Let's go to 1 Chronicles 23. Somebody better be keeping up with something.
First Chronicles chapter 23.
Start at verse 1.
So when David was old and full of days, he made Shlomo his son king over Israel. And he gathered together all the princes of Israel with the priests and the Levites. Now the Levites were numbered from the age of 30 years and upward, and their number by their polls, man by man, was 38,000, of which 24,000 were to set forward the work of the house of Yahweh, and 6,000 were officers and judges.
You see that? So there's a separation as to what jobs they have. It's not just a thing that, hey, they're priests, they do this. No, some do this, some do that. And that's that thing sometimes where we will sit around and wait for the same individuals to do something. Hey, wait a minute. At some point, we're going to have to stand in these places. Go ahead.
Moreover, 4,000 were porters, and 4,000 praised Yahweh with the instruments which I made, said David, to praise therewith.
Right. So then there are those that this is their job to praise Yahweh with instruments. And we know the power of those instruments. When David played his instrument, it made the evil spirit leave Saul. Go ahead.
And David divided them into courses among the sons of Levi, namely Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. Of the Gershonites were Ladan and Shimei. The sons of Ladan, the chief was Yahiel, and Zatham, and Yoel, 3. The sons of Shimei, Shelemith, and Haziel, and Haran, 3. These were the chief of the fathers of Ladan. And the sons of Shimei were Yahath, Zina, and Yeush, and Beriah. These 4 were the sons of Shimei. And Yahath was the chief, and Ziza the second. But Yeush and Beriah had not many sons. Therefore they were in one reckoning, according to their father's house.
Mm-hmm.
The sons of Kohath, Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel, 4. The sons of Amram, Aaron, and Moshe. And Aaron was separated, that he should sanctify the most holy things, he and his sons forever, to burn incense before Yahweh, to minister unto him, and to bless in his name forever. Now concerning Moshe, the man of Elohim, his sons were named of the tribe of Levi.
Pay attention to that. Because there's not a whole lot said concerning those things. And you have to wonder there. Now concerning Moshe, the man of Elohim, his sons were named of the tribe of Levi. So you're not going to find, no tribe of Moshe. So when you wonder where his sons went, There it is. Go ahead.
You mean the sons of foreign women?
The sons of foreign women are in the priesthood.
Okay.
Now, why you gonna say that? Some people just like to start trouble. Go ahead, bro.
The sons of Moshe were Gershon and Eleazar. Of the sons of Gershon, Shebuel was the chief, and the sons of Eleazar were Rehabiah, the chief.
Now, I must say, later on, Yahweh does say that the priests have to stay within, they must marry within their own lineage of people. And that's why, and we've done our sermons on that before, that Yahweh was way more strict with the priests than he was with the rest of the people. Go ahead.
And Eleazar had none of the sons, but the sons of Rehabiah were very many. Of the sons of Izar, Shelemith the chief. Of the sons of Hebron, Yeriah the first, Amariah the second, Yahaziel the third, and Yekamiam the fourth.
Jump down to verse 24.
These were the sons of Levi after the house of their fathers, even the chief of the fathers, as they were counted by the number of names by their polls, that did the work for the service of the house of Yahweh from the age of 20 years and upward.
So now, Dawid, who has this power as the king can make ordinances and change ordinances. So now you then see that he has allowed these younger ones to come and do help when it comes down to these priests. Because understand, at 20 years old, they were going to war. So he said, all right, they will be able to come and help their fathers. Go ahead.
For Dawid said, Yahweh Elohim of Israel has given rest unto his people, that they may dwell in Jerusalem forever. And also unto the Levites, they shall no more carry the tabernacle, nor any vessels of it for the service thereof. For by the last words of Dawid, the Levites were numbered from 20 years old and above.
Let these young boys come in here and carry some of this stuff. Let's let these young boys, if we're going to do something, because these are the ones that y'all have to teach. They're going to receive this charge. So let them learn under you as they then begin to receive a charge. Go ahead.
Because their office was to wait on the sons of Aaron for the service of the house of Yahweh, in the courts and in the chambers, and in the purifying of all holy things, and the work of the service of the house of Elohim, both for the showbread, and for the fine flour for meat offering, and for the unleavened cakes, and for that which is baked in the pan, and for that which is fried, and for all manner of measure and size, and to stand every morning to thank and praise Yahweh, and likewise at even, and to offer all burnt sacrifices unto Yahweh in the Shabbats, in the new moons, and on the set feasts, by number according to the order commanded unto them, continually before Yahweh. And that they should keep the charge of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the charge of the holy place, and the charge of the sons of Aaron their brethren, in the service of the house of Yahweh.
All right, let's go to Revelation chapter 7.
Verse 1.
Yeah, Revelation 7. Let's start at verse 1.
And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living Elohim. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our Elohim in their foreheads.
Right. They can pass out as many pandemics and do as many things as they want. Yahweh is going to protect his people when it comes down to it. But they're going to do what they got to do, and the angel of Yahweh is going to allow them to do what they need to do. Because Lucifer has to set up his war. He has to set up his front to go against Yahshua, and Yahshua has to prepare his defense. Go ahead.
And I heard the number of them which were sealed. And there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Right. Just as you have a specific number, a specific age, you have all of these things that we read in the beginning, you're going to then find that Yahweh is setting this on a much more broad scale, because now you're then dealing with a holy priesthood, but this then this holy priesthood is coming out of all tribes, not just the tribe of Levi. Go ahead.
Of the tribe of Yehuda were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Nephthalim were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Dan were sealed 12,000.
And the reason why he says that in Manasseh, it says there, then later on you're going to read where it says of the tribe of Yosef. The tribe of Yosef includes Manasseh. So you can't have a tribe of Yosef and a tribe of Manasseh. That makes absolutely no sense. Then he's double represented while somebody else is not represented at all. See, this is how the confusion gets out, because you can read some of these things and still end up with 12 and not realize that you got somebody else left off because of the split between yourself, Ephraim, and Manasseh. Go ahead.
Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Yosef were sealed 12,000.
Right, and this is the tribe that includes Manasseh. Yosef is Manasseh's father. So you don't have to have Yosef and Manasseh. That is a double jeopardy situation there. He's already included. Go ahead.
Of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations, and kindreds, and people, and tongues, stood before the throne, and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes, and palms in their hands. And I cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our Elohim, which sits upon the throne, and unto the Lamb. And all the angels stood... Hold
on. And cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our Elohim, which sits upon the throne, and unto the Lamb. There's two entities. How is it you have people been going to church for 50 years and they tell you, Jesus is Lord. He's God. He's Alpha and Omega. He's beginning and end. He's everything. What book you reading, man? Yahshua said, my father gave me these instructions. Now he his own father. He his own father, and he instruct himself. Matter of fact, he in heaven while he on earth. And then he said, this is my son in who I'm well pleased, which is myself, so I am pleased in me. What? Does that make any sense? But these people got PhDs and doctorates and all kind of stuff in theology. Right. Read.
Verse 11. And all the angels stood round about the throne, and about the elders and the four beasts, and fell before the throne on their faces and worshipped Elohim.
Let me tell y'all something. This word is getting out. And these little videos and these things are making an impact. I was flipping through the channels and watched a Caucasian, a Gentile, busting up the heaven doctrine. That was something you were never going to hear. See, those are those things that people are saying, and it's making it to those congregations. It's making it to those places. I remember showing up at somebody's funeral, and I watched the preacher say some things that he had never said before. He was shaking in his boots when I walked in the door. Because he knew, he was worried if he started talking about that heaven doctrine. And they had asked me to speak at this funeral. He was worried. Worried about what the Hebrews he get up here. So then he warned me, you can't read no scripture. You can't read nothing. Apparently he think I need a book to cut him. He obviously does not know more. Go ahead, bro.
Saying, Amen. Blessing and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving and honor and power and might be unto our Elohim forever and ever. Amen. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, What are these which are arrayed in white robes? And whence came they? And I said unto him, Sir, you know it. And he said to me, These are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed their robes, and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Therefore are they before the throne of Elohim, and serve him day and night in his temple. And he that sits on the throne shall dwell among them. They shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more, neither shall the sun light on them, nor any heat. For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them, and shall lead them unto living fountains of waters. And Elohim shall wipe away all from their eyes, all tears from their eyes.
All right. That is all that we're going to do for tonight. Enjoy your new moon. Shalom.
Shalom.